Hello everyone, it's Marie here from Pepperly Rose Paper Crafting. I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator in Sydney, Australia. Thank you so much for joining me. Today I'm going to be showing you product from the Stampin' Up catalogue, the annual catalogue, and I'm going to be showing you the timeless tropical stamp set. I will be using this little pineapple image here, and I'm also going to be using the dies. I'm going to use the pineapple dies and the Aloha little die that comes with this die set. These can be bought through my online store at pepperlyrosepapercrafting.stampinup.net. Everything that you're going to see today featured in this video can be purchased through my online store. And if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to leave me a comment, or you can contact me privately through my online store at pepperlyrosepapercrafting.stampinup.net and leave me a message and I will get back to you within 24 hours. So today's project is going to be a watercolor themed tropical card. Yeah, I just wanted something bright and cheerful because, you know, things have been a little bit depressing lately, so I thought it would be fun to do something that's, you know, summery and cheerful and happy. So the products I'll be using today, the cardstock I'll be using today is Whisper White thick cardstock. It's half an A4 and then I scored it in half again, and that creates an A6 card base. So I'll just fold and burnish the score line. As you know, I love my Whisper White thick card bases. They're just so versatile and it will look fabulous with this project. I also have a piece of 3/4 of an inch of vellum. This will go across the entire front of a card. So I've got a piece here of some watercolor paper. So where I'd like to put it is here. And yeah, you'll see that later on. You'll need a piece of watercolor paper that is about 1/4 of an inch shorter than the card base. And then I have some scrap watercolor paper because all of these die cuts, these 3 die cuts will be used with watercolor using Stampin' Up inks. And the Stampin' Up inks I'm using today are Crushed Curry, Daffodil Delight, Coastal Cabana, Melon Mumbo, Old Olive and Granny Apple Green. So we will get started with the front of the card to start off with. What I'm going to do is some embossing, and I'm going to be using this gorgeous little pineapple image here. So what I'm going to do is use my embossing buddy, and I'm just going to make sure I get rid of any static on the front of this watercolor paper. I'll just pop this to the side so I don't get it all dirty. And then what I'm going to do is grab some Versamark ink and I'm going to stamp the pineapple all over the front. And even if I don't get a perfect impression, I don't mind, because this is going to be watercolored over the top and heat embossed. Oops. Okay, now I don't want it to completely covered, but you'll see. Just makes a fun background. Then I'm going to use my white embossing powder over the top. And I'll just grab this. Just pour it over the top there. It's actually looking quite cute already. I like it. It's just a fun background. And I think I may add another couple of images of pineapple. So about here and here. So I'll just grab some of this. I'll go like that, and then like that, just to add a bit more on that, just to fill it up a bit. So pour some more over the top there. Okay, so what I'm going to do off camera is I'm going to heat emboss this, and we shall be back. Okay, so I've just finished heat embossing this watercolour piece of cardstock, and what I'm going to do now is I'm going to bring my craft sheet and we're going to do some just fun watercolour background with my aqua pen. Just use whatever you have on hand. And I'm going to be using some Daffodil Delight, Coastal Cabana and some Melon Mumbo. I'm going to stamp each of these colours just very lightly onto my craft sheet, and it makes it easy for cleanup, etc. afterwards. I'm going to stamp now some Daffodil Delight, and I'm going to stamp some Coastal Cabana. So I'll make sure that's there. Alright, so what I will do now is I'll bring my piece of cardstock here. Oops. Wrong thing. Alright, and I'm just going to get some water onto my brush. Now this is the retired aqua pen, but because it's still working, I'm going to still use it. So I'm using the larger brush tip. And what I'm going to do now is just pick up colour and just, just randomly push it onto the watercolour paper. I don't have to cover it all 100% precisely. I'll just grab a tissue, which I forgot to get, and so I can wipe the brush tip. And then I'm going to grab some Coastal Cabana and just go over the top again. And what's beautiful is about this is that the embossing resists the colour. So it just goes over the top. Give this a wipe. And then I'm going to grab some Melon Mumbo. And I'll go a little bit light because I don't want it too dark, so I'll just use whatever's on the brush there and just cover it as I see fit, move the colour around. And I'll just spread the Coastal Cabana to the edges. And I'll do the same here, just grab some more Daffodil Delight, just messy stuff. And then this is a very quick background, and then what I'm going to do in the middle of both of these, I'm just going to make sure I fill the brush tip with quite a bit of water there, and I'll just kind of blend that together so they look like they kind of meld. And I'll do the same here, and the colours will mix, and that's okay, we like that. And so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to dry this off with my heat tool. And I'll just spread some more colour there. Okay, so it's nice and easy. There we go. And what we'll do is I'll dry this off with the heat tool, and then I shall be back. Okay, so I've just finished now heating the watercolour paper through, so it's nice and dry. So I'm just going to leave it to the side for it to dry, and I'm just going to grab my scrap piece of watercolour paper, and what I'm going to do is just bring out the dies, and I'm just going to lay them out where I'd like to add some colour. So for the Aloha, I'm actually going to add some Melon Mumbo. So I'm just going to just do a little stamp onto my craft sheet up there. I'm going to pick up the colour and just watercolour the piece of paper there. Large enough to fit the die cut, make sure I get it. And I'll try and make it darker than the background. So keep adding colour. So this is a fun way of adding colour to your die cuts and make it look really cool. So cleaning that up, and I'm going to now clean this up. Then the next one I'm going to do is some Daffodil Delight. And I will also add a little bit of crushed curry in spots. So there we go. You don't need a lot. And so I'm just going to now grab the Daffodil Delight. Like so. And then I'm just going to add a little bit of crushed curry just to darken it up a bit in spots. Although it doesn't look like I've done that much, but yeah, that will do. So I'm sure this will, yep, that fits. And double check that too. Yep, that fits. What I will do as well is, I think the best way to do that so you can see the difference in colours is dry them off, and then you can add more colour on top of it to make it dark. So then I'm going to add some Granny Apple Green. Just add that over here. Okay, keep adding some Granny Apple Green. Now make sure that's enough to fit my whole die there. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to dry these off screen, and I'll come back again and we'll add some extra colour. So just bear with me. Just dried this off a little bit. Now I'm going to add some crushed curry on top of that. Just in bits. So this is very quick. See, and just doesn't have to be overly precise. But like that, so you can see that there is a difference in colour, a little bit more, and I think that will do with the crushed curry. And then I'm going to add some old olive. Put this on top here so I don't lose it, and I'll add some old olive. And as I said, it doesn't have to be precise in any way, shape or form. And it's just watercolour after all. Now I do want to make the Melon Mumbo a little bit more vibrant. So I'm just going to add a little bit more Melon Mumbo. Oops, I think that might be a bit much, but we'll see how we go. All right, just squeeze some more water. Make sure my brush has enough there. And then I'll just add, yeah, that's the colour I want. Okay, so I think I added too much ink there, but that's nice and vibrant. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to heat it, come back, and we'll start dark coating all of these, and I'll clean this all up. Okay, bear with me. So I'm back now. So I have finished heating this with my heat tool. What we're going to do now is we're going to cut all of these individual pieces, and I'm going to secure them down with some painter's tape. And this one over here. It's a fun way for your die cuts to look kind of almost natural. I really like this look, and I hope you do too. It's just a fun way of doing things, and it saves on cardstock too. You just use, you know, one colour and colour that to whatever you want. So, and it adds nice dimension too. So I'm going to die cut all of this, and I'll bring up my big shot. And I'll go back over again since these are quite detailed. Okay, that's finished. And we'll take out all of the die cuts. And I love how these dies have accent piece, like little cutouts that help you to add dimension to your card. Isn't that cool? And doesn't that look great? That looks so good. Okay, so I'll bring out the painter's tape. Got my little pokey tool. Just take out the bits and pieces here. So that looks lovely. And these pieces do poke out carefully. I've got carpet tile, so it's a bit hard for me to do detailed work at the moment because I have set my hands off with the recent repair we did to our bathroom. And so my hands are a little bit worse for wear at the moment, but that's the Aloha. That turned out beautiful. And now we've got the pineapple bit here. Just poke out all those bits. And just poke all these bits out. Okay, so I've picked out all of those little bits and pieces, and we're going to start putting this card together. So it's going to be very, very simple, but colourful, and I think I'm enjoying this. So what I'll do now with this is I'm going to grab the piece of vellum and I'm going to put it across the middle here, and I will just bend it over at the back so it bends over just a tad, and I'm actually going to secure this bit down with some glue. Make sure it stays there. And then that way you don't see any glue from the front. And just add that there. And then hold it down for a minute. And there is your straighten it up, make sure it's nice and straight. It wasn't straight, so I'll straighten that up, put some glue there. Okay, that looks great. So I'm going to stick this now to the front of my card. Just put it to the front there. Secure that down. Just bear with me for one moment. I've got the battery flashing and I'll just pop this into the power and I shall be back. Okay, so I'm back now, so I'll quickly just adhere this down. So this is where I would like it to go, and I love the touch of vellum there, so I'll just grab my tweezers and I'll just put some glue everywhere. And that's it with this card. It's really, really simple. I really like it, and I hope you do too. As I said, all these products are available through my online store at pepperlyrosepapercrafting.stampinup.net. And if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to ask. I'm more than happy to help with all your Stampin' Up needs. So, and if you're anywhere in Australia too, doesn't matter what state you're in, more than happy to help you out. So I'll just stick this bit now down in certain spots, especially there and there. Stick that down. I love this card. It's so happy and cheerful and bright. It can brighten anyone's day. And who can resist a pineapple Hawaiian theme card, hey? It can brighten anyone's day. Just saying hello to those that we haven't said hello to for a little while. Okay, so now just put this onto here in the middle of the vellum. Stick that down. And that is my finished card for today. on the inside. Actually, it would be nice if we could stamp something on the inside too. Why don't we stamp this little pineapple here? I'll just grab very quickly my pineapple. And then I'm going to add my granny apple green. And I'm going to stamp the inside of the card just down the bottom here with the pineapple. And there we have it. I hope you enjoyed today's tutorial. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to ask. And please give me the thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't already done so, and feel free to share my video. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you again next time.